3.
All right, on episode 8 of Inside Beast Athletics, I'm going to give away my top 3 exercises to help you jump higher. Stay tuned. Been getting a lot of requests. We do a program here called Beast Bounce.
Yes.
It's kind of our make a rib program. I use it sometimes. We don't have it available all the time, but when we do bring it, it sells out. It's an excellent program. We've had kids gain up to 8 inches on their vertical jump in just 6 weeks on our program. When I was in grad school at USF, vertical jump enhancement was my primary area of study. So I utilize a lot of the information that I got from that, and just from 10 years of being in the industry of what works, what hasn't worked. So the big question I'm getting now is, Tuck, what are your top three vertical jump enhancement exercises? Your top 3, the ones that you recommend the most. All right. So let me backtrack this a little bit. When it comes to vertical jump, there's 3 components that you have to have. All right, in the vertical jump enhancement exercise, you have to have exercises that have a violent hip extension. All right, we call that VHE. So that's when your hips are in a flex state and they power up. That's what you do when you jump, when you run. You have a violent hip extension. Also, you need to have stability. All right, you have to be stable. We always use the cup and the string analogy.
Right, yes.
So when back in the old days when they used to have fun with like just a cup and a string, you would play telephone. So you would have a cup, a string attached to another cup. And if that string was tight, I can talk into that cup and Seneca would hear my voice on the other side. So the energy transferred very well. Now, if that string was loose, the energy is not going to transfer. So that's an analogy for stability. If your tendons and ligaments and muscles aren't stable, that energy isn't going to transfer once you put it through the ground. It's not going to transfer back up through your body because your string is loose. Right. So you want to make sure you're stable. And then the last thing is reactivity, being able to load and explode very quick. So those are my top 3, I guess, components of a good vertical jump. And then let's talk about the top 3 exercises. Can I get a little drum roll?
Yeah.
In no particular order, we have the hang power clean. It's one of our biggest exercises, Olympic exercises we use here at Beast Athletics. In my opinion, it's easier to load weight on there. And so you get I would say you need to work between 70 and 80% of your max to get a good training effect on there. And to me, it just mimics the vertical jump perfectly. What else to say about that? The couple of components of there is you make sure that you have good form on doing that, especially when we talk about getting that good front rack position out of that hang power clean. A lot of guys, especially you basketball players who need your wrist, make sure that you guys are getting that bar up nice and high so you're not putting any damage to your wrist.
Right, because I know initially when I was doing the hang power clean, that was one thing I was starting to do. I was not putting my elbows fully up. So then once I know you saw that and you corrected, now I'm able to do a lot more weight, making sure now I'm having that proper form.
Absolutely. And sometimes you might have to work on your flexibility and mobility to get it up there. Some kids are tight, usually in their triceps, sometimes in their lats, sometimes their wrists are just tight. So you just kind of work your way up, and don't use heavy weight until you have good flexibility there. The next exercise, drum roll please. Boom. The depth drop jump. Depth drop jump. All right. That's when you're on the box and then you step off the box, you land immediately, boom, jump high as you can. That exercise, more than any other exercise, utilizes what's called the stretch shortening cycle for plyometrics. So our muscles, tendons, and ligaments, again, act like rubber bands. So when you're landing from that box, you get a big stretch, and then as soon as you shorten it, boom, transfer that energy into the air. I like this. People ask me, Tuck, why don't you use the Vertimax? Why don't you use some of these other, popular tools that people see? Is because the depth, drop, jump, and these 3 exercises I'm talking about works 10 times better. You can look up a lot of studies. I read a lot of the Journal of Strength and Conditioning. They've done tons of studies using the Vertimax versus a lot of these other type of tools, other type of plyometrics, and the depth drop jump is king to me. To me, if I had to place it in order, this would be number 1 for me. Wow. Is a depth drop jump. Yeah. Disclaimer, before you actually jump using the depth drop jump, what do we usually do, PK? We teach them how to what?
Land an athletic stance.
You got to teach you how to land. It is a crime to teach people how to jump high without a proper landing, because you're going to jump higher and higher and higher, and your landing mechanics are going to be trash, and you're going to hurt yourself. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we do with the depth drop jump is we teach athletes how to land in an athletic position. Right. And then we progress them next on the actual jumping. And even after they jump, landing in an athletic position as well. The phase where you're landing on the ground, they call it the landing phase, or also the amortization phase. That phase should be about 0.2 seconds. All right? So you literally should hit the ground, boom. Use that, the ground is almost a springboard, and jump as fast as you can. All right? Number 3, drum roll, please. Boom. This is our bread and butter here at Beast Athletics. It is the single leg TRX squat. Single leg TRX squat. One of my reports I did in grad school was, ready, this is pretty fancy smancy. The contralateral effect of unilateral training.
That sounds fancy.
So basically, training, if I do training on my right leg, I end up making my left leg stronger by just training my right leg. There's a lot of studies on that. It's weird, but it works. Also, another reason why we like to do a lot of unilateral exercises here is because a lot of our athletes come in with a lot of imbalances. Mm-hmm. Let's use a basketball player, for example. If he's right-handed, he's right-hand dominant. That means when he does layups, when he's dunking, he's jumping off of his left leg. So that left leg is going to be a lot more explosive, have a lot more strength in it. So the right leg is going to be trash. Mm-hmm. So by getting both legs to be strong and explosive, that one opens up the athlete's toolbox. So now he's going to feel more comfortable going left and finishing off that right leg. And 2, when they jump off both legs are going to be strong, and the total power output is going to be a lot higher. So the single leg TRX squat, as far as recommendations, as far as reps and sets, start out just body weight on there. It's going to be a lot of different balance and stability issues if it's your first time doing it. PK, I like to sit back and kind of show you progressions a lot in here. You see, a first time athlete doing the single leg TRX squat. You can see, a lot of instability, and as they keep on coming and getting their reps in, they become stronger and stronger. We want to eventually get you to do it weighted. All right, what weight? You want to stay between sets of 5 and 8. 5 and 8. These should be strength sets. So you should be feeling reps. If you're doing a set of 8, reps 6, 7, and 8 should be pretty tough for you. So adjust the weight accordingly so that those last 3 reps are challenging for you. That's my top 3. So we got the hang power clean, the depth drop jump, and the single leg TRX squat. We're going to have videos coincide while I'm talking. I guess we'll do a voiceover, so you'll be able to see the actual workouts as we're going. If you guys have any more sports performance questions for us, definitely comment below in this video. Also, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're going to be pumping this thing out with tons and tons of content, tons and tons of value. Sports nutrition.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about fueling yourself for success for sports nutrition, right? So we always talk about the main 3 things for any type of sports nutrition or sports performance is pre-performance, of course, during your performance, when you're actually working out or you're actually in the game, what should you be consuming, what you should be doing, and what's the best thing to do for post-performance. So